Welcome to the latest episode of Kicks, Cleats, and Athletes. It's your boy, Young EJ. We got our boy at Ops, JD.
Yo, yo.
And we got our Master of Kicks, Jimmy T.
What's up, fellas? Don't mind our
How you
technical
doing?
difficulties.
Technical
Yeah,
difficulties to get started.
the sound
there,
engineer
huh?
is
Man,
a little hungover.
Been drinking on the job. We had
Oh, he's not even hungover. He's still drunk. I got you.
right?
no idea what just happened. All right, whatever.
All good.
How we feeling tonight?
Good, man.
Oh, man. Good stuff.
Yeah, man. Some victories for all of our teams. The Jaguars won. The Dolphins, of course, won.
Yeah.
EJ's Purdy Niners lost.
Man.
So, we'll
Purdy
talk about
Niners.
that, though.
Purdy Niners. I like it.
We'll talk about it.
We'll definitely get into
Mhm.
that. But, we got a great show in store for everyone tonight. We are definitely going to hit up some college football. There were some great games over the weekend. We can't leave you with some NFL and also kicks of the week and some trivia. So we are going to just jump straight into it, get it going, get it popping. We're going to jump straight into college football. So the first game that we're going to hit up for you guys tonight, we're going to talk about Oregon, Washington. It was a battle of some top 10 teams, which ironically, the Pac 12 seems to be one of the tougher conferences. Or are they just a bunch of okay teams that really haven't played anyone up until this point? Nevertheless, it was a great game. Washington squeaked out that victory and, to remain undefeated. And so, Jimmy T, we'll start with you. What'd you think about the game? What stood out to you?
Well, we talked about this a couple weeks. I think it might have been the week that EJ missed when we were talking. You were kind of going on your soapbox about Caleb Williams. You don't think he's going to be a good pro.
Oh,
And
we
I
gonna
told
get
you,
into
I
that.
told you that day that I think Michael Penix is going to be the best of this batch that comes out. Big fan of his
did.
game. They do have a great haul of wide receivers, but again, the quarterback's got to get it to him, right? So they got down. Bo Nix is like 45 years old, so he's been playing college for I don't know, 10 years of eligibility. I don't know, but it was a good game. I think both teams. This might have been what the Pac-12 needed to push the catapult them, man. I don't know if Oregon can get back into it unless Washington stumbles. But that Washington team is good. And the thing that surprised me the most, I knew they would put up points, but their defense actually came to play. And you weren't sure, if it was they're playing weaker offenses, things like that. We talk about some of these other conferences that put up a lot of points. But to me, it's Michael Penix. I'm a big fan of his. The Oregon team's good though, man. They've been putting together recruiting class after recruiting class together. There's a lot of talent on that football team, and a lot of people kind of criticize Dan Lanning's aggressive nature in this game. I thought at the time they were the right calls. And sometimes, if you're going to go for the win, go for the win. Sometimes it backfires, but it wasn't calls that I would disagree with in the time and the moment. So it was a good game. I'm not a big fan of these quarterbacks staying for 15 years, but Penix is one of them. He transferred over, but he's still only 23, so we're not talking about a 27-year-old. So we'll see. But I told Jason a couple weeks ago that I thought that he was going to be the best of the bunch that comes out in this crew between Caleb Williams, Drake May, if Shador comes out. Some of these other guys are going to be coming out in this draft. I like him the most.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. I remember, we were speaking about it off record, but Michael Penix Jr. being back at Indiana, and he was lighting them up a few years back.
Yeah, then he hurt his shoulder, I think it was.
Yeah, I think he might have tore up his knee, I think it was. But I just remember, thinking then, I was like, man, this kid's going to be good. And then just to see him like all these years later, I'm like, dang, he's still like there.
And I'm going to sound like an asshole, guys. I'm sorry, but I just looked up how old Bo Nix is. He's only 23. Both of them were 23. So I sound like a jerk. Maybe it just might be this Auburn thing that I don't like about Bo Nix. It might be that, but go ahead, EJ. I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure I corrected myself for the audience. So
Jordan Travis might be up there in age too.
He's up there.
Florida State forever.
He's up there. But that might be me hating too.
And he didn't even start at Florida State though.
It's true. That's true. Yeah, but Bo Nix needed all this development because he looks like a night and day player from when he was at Auburn. So
we'll say that. No, I mean it definitely was a good game. It was a battle of Heisman Trophy candidates. Because Bo Nix has got his name in that hat. Obviously, Penix Jr.'s got his name in that hat, and I think whoever came out on top was going to, I think, catapult themselves to being the front runner in a sense. And, Washington just put a great display. I mean, we know one of the things about the Pac 12 is they put up points. They will score. Defense doesn't seem to really matter in the Pac 12 so much. So if you ever pay attention to any like the score lines and stuff like that, I mean,
it's about getting the right stops.
Yes,
and I said earlier, like I was impressed with Washington defense. They got big stops in big times. Still gave it 500 yards of offense, but again, Jason, yeah,
that was a good day for them.
Yeah,
that was a good day. But yeah. So it's just it was good to see. It was a great game to watch. And I applaud just the way that they both came out. To see both of those quarterbacks actually just resurrect their careers from where they were to where they're at now. Because at one point in time, nobody was really thinking Bo Nix had an opportunity to even be an NFL quarterback. And now look, he's put himself in a position to being one of the first maybe 3-4 quarterbacks off the board, depending who's picking. And same with Penix. I mean, he came back from the injury. He was at Indiana where, who knows what would have happened, because it's not like Indiana is this big football school where, he's going to get a lot of shine. So him going into the Pac-12 and I think pretty much going against a lot of these upper echelon quarterbacks and him being able to showcase his actual talent has put him in the position to be, the Heisman Trophy front runner at this precise moment. So I think all in all, it's looking good for him, and we'll see, because I know Washington still has some.
I would say this though, Jason, he didn't transfer to a powerhouse. I mean, Washington pops up every 6, 7, 8 years. They're a type of program that builds, they'll have, and their team grows. And then when they get the right collection of talent that's a little bit older, then they kind of pop. Remember, I think they were in the first playoff, right? Against Alabama, and then they went and got kind of beat down quite a bit in that one. And that was what, 6 or 7 years ago. So, I mean, he didn't jump into an Oregon or, going into, a big time Big Ten or SEC school. He went to Washington. So, I mean, he deserves a ton of credit to putting him back on the map.
I'm not taking any credit away from him. Just saying, I mean, I feel Washington at least is more relevant in football than Indiana is.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Those two teams. So I think with that, but we'll see how it goes, because he still has a few. Right. Still got some more tests coming up. They got Arizona State this week, which could be a tough one. Could be one of those trap games. Then they have Stanford. We saw what Stanford just did to, Colorado. But then they still got USC, Utah, and Oregon State, and Washington State to end the year. So they still got a tough.
They're putting up 60 on all of them except for Utah.
Yeah, USC's looking like
60.
A mess. USC is going to be a mess.
Putting up 60 except for Utah. Utah's defense is legit, but they're putting up 60 on the rest of them.
All right.
So, but let me guys ask you this, since we're on the subject. I know we're going to talk about USC Notre Dame, but do we feel like this is going to be like every other year where we have a school like this come out of a Pac-12 and then they go up against competition and a playoff? Let's just say they made the playoff and they just look like they're overwhelmed.
I'm going to stop you there. No, because there's no more Pac-12 after this year. You got 2 teams left.
No, I'm talking about this year. I'm talking about this year. If they make it to the playoffs.
This year, not one Pac-12 team will make it to the playoffs.
So if Washington wins the Pac-12, they're not going to make it in the top 4.
No, because they're going to lose a game.
Okay.
There's going to be no undefeated team. In the Pac-12.
Okay.
Now, the only way the Pac-12 team I feel makes the playoffs, because obviously we're still with the 4 teams we haven't expanded yet, so
Right.
we're only working with 4 teams. I don't even know if Georgia's going to make it. I think that Brock Bowers' injury is going to hurt them tremendously. Even though, yes, they have other 5-star tight ends on the roster, I think they are going to lose a game somewhere in there. Michigan doesn't look like they're going to get beat. I mean, we'll have a better idea of what the Big Ten is going to look like with Ohio State, Penn State this weekend. Is Penn State for real? Because they never could beat Ohio State. So are they going to be legit? Are they going to be for real? So I think you could end up with maybe, depending on how the chips fall, you could probably have 2 Big Ten schools in there. I think the only thing that's going to save a Pac-12 school for anything is that a lot of them are ranked. And you would look at, well, you lost to, the number 6 team or the number 12 team. So that could maybe save one of them. But I still don't think a Pac-12 team is going to make the 4.
If Washington runs the table or loses a close game on the road and wins the Pac-12, I think they're in. Because think about this: they have Oregon. They have
game to who though?
Well, like a USC, like on the road to USC, or even Oregon State. That's number 12 right now. If Oregon State stays the path, right, and they lose on a last-second field goal at Oregon State, and then they go and win the Pac-12, I think they're in. Because the gauntlet of, we talked about, there's a bunch of ranked teams that they all kind of stay the course. They played Oregon last week. They're going to play Stanford, like you said, USC. They play Utah, Oregon State. All 3 of those teams are ranked, and then the Oregon team. So that's 4 ranked opponents that they were either beat or stay close to. And I think they played. No, that was it at the beginning of the year. I was going to say they played Texas at the end of last year, but I think the point that I was trying to make though, Jason, is you don't think that Georgia's going to make it, right? I think they do because their schedule is fairly weak on the East. They'll have to, if they go into the SEC championship and they lose a close game to a 1-loss Alabama team, they're still getting in. But let's just say that you're right. I think that I don't see the dominant team out there like we have in the past, where like they might go in and they're just so overwhelmed by talent if they get into the playoff.
Yeah, because they can put up points. They could definitely put up points.
So who's your 4 making the playoffs
right now?
Yeah, right now.
I'll say Georgia, Alabama, Michigan, and Washington.
Alabama.
Mm-hmm. Why Alabama beats LSU? They'll be in the SEC championship.
Wait, so you're jumping Alabama from where are they at now? 11?
Yeah, but they're gonna play LSU. They're gonna play LSU. They're gonna play, if they win out. Then they're gonna play Georgia.
Wait.
If they
wait. So okay. So you said Georgia, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Who else were the other 2?
Michigan and Washington.
So
no.
You got Florida State. You got Florida State losing somewhere in there at least twice.
Yeah, baby.
You got them losing at least twice.
They're losing in the swamp, baby. They're losing in the swamp.
They played Duke yet?
They play them this weekend.
Yep.
Oh, they play Duke.
And they're losing to the Dukies. Go Dukies.
I think they'll lose to Duke as well.
Okay.
Let's go Dukies.
But I'm just I'm kind of taken aback by your 4 there. I don't see Alabama.
Would you take? Well, let me ask you this: if a 1-loss Georgia and a 1-loss Alabama, are you taking Florida State, or are you taking those 2 teams? Like if they're all 3 of them 1 loss.
I mean, who does Florida State lose to? Who does Georgia lose to?
Huh?
So
Georgia would lose in the SEC championship to Alabama, in my eyes.
Okay, and Florida.
That means that
Florida State would lose to who? Duke, is what we're saying. Who are they losing?
Well, I say 1-loss team, right? So I mean, it could be Duke, it could be at Florida. They could slip up somewhere else. I mean, just anywhere. Let's just say they lose 1 game. If they run the table, they're in. But let's just say they slip up and lose 1. Do you take the 2 SEC teams over them, or do you have to give it to the ACC? Like, let's just say they win the ACC championship. Do you put them in over a Georgia who basically didn't struggle? I mean, they had some games where they but none of them are really in doubt.
So
Let's just say.
So Georgia is going undefeated, or they're losing in the SEC championship?
I have them winning out, losing in the SEC championship. This is why I have Alabama in. If Alabama loses the SEC championship, that's 2 losses. They're not getting in.
Yeah,
so
even if Alabama made the SEC championship, I don't foresee them going from 11 all the way up to make it in the top 4. Because now you're talking about, let's just go through it. You're talking about either Michigan or Ohio State losing at least twice. One of them. You got Florida State needs to lose, Washington needs to lose, Oklahoma needs to lose.
Yeah, I'm about to say Oklahoma.
Penn State
well, I said
now,
why I
granted,
didn't say why. Washington's one of my
well,
4, so they don't need to lose.
You're right. Sorry. So Penn State, Ohio State, one of them's losing this weekend.
Right.
You still got Texas, Oregon, and North Carolina all in front of Alabama still. And they already are at 1 loss. There's nobody left on Alabama's schedule. Really.
LSU and Georgia, they would have to beat.
Again, I don't think anybody. I mean, LSU's ranked 19 at the moment. And who knows? They might lose this weekend to Tennessee. Alabama's not been the sharpest. So
they're not the sharpest, but this team makes me feel like it's just a gritty team it's never gonna be pretty. But they're good defensively, and I think they're gonna start to figure it out offensively.
Alabama's gonna have 3 losses this year.
Okay.
They're gonna lose to Tennessee this weekend, and then they're going to.
Are they at Tennessee or in Tuscaloosa?
They are.
If it's in Tuscaloosa, there's no shot Tennessee win this game.
Yeah, they're in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, I don't
No
see
shot.
that. Yeah, I don't see Tennessee coming in.
Hey, we will see. I'm telling you. I got.
Okay, well, you're tearing apart my 4. What's your 4?
So
at the moment, we're not even we haven't even got the college football playoff rankings yet, by the way. So these rankings that are up here are irrelevant.
Correct.
Irrelevant until the college football playoff rankings come out. It's irrelevant. We shouldn't even have these rankings until we come out with the first one, because it doesn't even matter.
Alabama
Preseason rankings are based on what you did last year. It has nothing to do with this year.
Yeah,
we shouldn't even have them.
Alabama's done nothing. They've beaten nobody to even warrant them being.
They beat Ole Miss.
Yeah, again, they haven't beaten anyone.
That's EJ's boy. He loves him some.
Lane.
Lane. He loves the lane. He loves the lane train, bro.
So
all right. So what's your 4? What's your 4, Jason? Come on.
My 4. I got Michigan. I got Florida State.
Okay.
I got Oklahoma, and then I got Georgia. I feel like Georgia's going to end up being number 4 because I feel they're going to slip up somewhere in there. I just don't think as ugly as Florida State's been winning lately. The only team I could see that will get them. I mean, I don't know. They got Duke. We'll see if Duke could play how they did against Clemson. Might be something serious there. Then you obviously have the in-state rival between Florida State and Miami. So who knows how that could go. And then you got your in-state rivalry at the end of the year with Florida. So, I mean, those rivalry games are the tricky ones, right? Because you could be terrible, but that's the game you wake up for.
Yep.
And, and that game this year is in the swamp. So, I mean, anything could happen. So
they probably have to see. They probably have to see North Carolina in the ACC championship too, right?
It's the best record in the ACC this year. They got rid of the divisions, right? So it's the 2 best teams, or are they still going based off the division?
I think this is the last year, maybe off foot. No,
yeah, I feel like
They got rid of it.
So it's just the team with the best record.
So it's the 2 best teams with the 2 best records. So you're right. It'll probably be North Carolina, unless I mean.
Oh, you tell that.
Because, I mean, North Carolina is undefeated as well. So at this moment, that's who those 2 will be in.
Oh, so that's how they decide their champion now? Mm-hmm. Or that's how they do who's going to be the champion? Interesting.
Well, it's going to be the SEC next year, too. They're going along with the divisions.
I say really? What's the point of having it?
Well, I mean, I think the one thing that you run into, that I have, I agree with you, Jason, in totality. Like eventually, as we get into it, it'll kind of fade away. But I think they just need to make sure that they keep the games that matter, right? Like the East games, like Florida, Georgia, they'll always keep it, but like that needs to be a game that they play every year, right? Florida, Tennessee needs to be a game they play every year. I know you're adding Texas, I know you're adding Oklahoma, but those are the games that are historically, those are the games that I grew up on, you know, but historically, like you got to keep those in place, right? And I know some of the games have gone away, so like, like Auburn, Georgia, that has to stay. Like the East-West crossover, like ours has always been LSU, you know. So in my opinion, that should stay as well. Like we should always play LSU. It's always been, you know, the crossover. So hopefully the SEC kind of keeps that intact, you know. And obviously they'll keep the Texas-Oklahoma game because that's the Red River rivalry. But and I think you're right, Jason, in totality. I kind of like the East-West thing, but you know, at the same time, like you got so many teams that you got to start going with the best record because you're not gonna be able to cross everybody and play enough games to get that to go. So, but yeah, that's what it's in the ACC. So, what did you say? So, Florida State, Michigan, Georgia. Who was the fourth?
What did I say? Florida State, Michigan, Georgia.
So do you have Oklahoma? So you got the Big 12 champ coming in. Okay. Who else does Oklahoma play this year? They got anybody coming in?
I don't really think they got anyone.
Because I mean, they got the big game in Texas. Left. They play UCF, Kansas, Oklahoma State, West Virginia, BYU, and TCU. Oh yeah, they might.
Oh yeah, they should run through that. Yeah, they're gonna be undefeated.
Kansas will be a tough game. And because that's all, and Oklahoma State, they always have a little bit of issues with.
Oklahoma State, I was about to say they kind of
struggle.
What's the last time Oklahoma State beat Oklahoma though?
I bet you it's been within the last 3 years. I guarantee it.
I think they beat them last year.
Last year?
Yeah.
I feel like the record against them is horrible.
I mean, the record might be horrible, but I think Oklahoma State beat them last year.
I'm gonna look it up. EJ, what's your four?
I'm gonna go with I think
terrible already.
This guy.
He didn't even say it too.
This guy is awful. Actually, it's three of the same ones he got. Actually,
who's he?
So, Jason.
Okay.
So it might be terrible. Now that I think about it. I got Michigan. I got Washington. I'm gonna go with Georgia, and then for the last one, just because I think Oklahoma's gonna run the table. It'll be Oklahoma.
Oklahoma State won in 2021.
Okay, so
2021.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But before that,
I knew it just happened.
Before that, Oklahoma rattled off 6 in a row.
Okay, that's all I was.
But the games are always close. There's a couple of blowouts in here, but there's a 48-47, a 62-52, 38-35. Like there's a few in these here that are pretty close. Okay. So you got so Washington, Georgia, Michigan, Florida State, Oklahoma. So Oklahoma, Washington, Michigan, Georgia.
Cause I just got a feeling that
how many teams you got?
I got 4.
Florida State.
No, he didn't pick Florida State. He didn't pick Florida State.
Yeah. Okay. I got a feeling everyone coming out of the AC out of that's gonna have a loss. I'm just feeling like somewhere they're gonna lose against each other.
Where?
In the ACC. So I don't think Florida State's gonna end up being undefeated. I don't think North Carolina's gonna end up being undefeated.
We're running out of weeks. Somebody gotta put the L to them.
Someone will. I mean, I'll be honest.
Miami plays one of them, right?
Miami just lost
to North Carolina.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, Miami, bro. Stop with this Miami stuff. They are not back. We need to stop it.
Well,
every year they're back and they're not. I want to hear it.
Cristobal messed them up, man.
Well, Cristobal
against Georgia Tech.
Yeah, man. Cristobal, he shook the whole team psyche with that dang.
Yeah. They got their chest poked out because they beat Texas. And I'm told Texas they ain't worth a damn.
They're not even real SEC. I don't even feel.
Yeah,
I don't even feel like they're part of
Jimbo Fisher.
Is he on the hot seat?
But bro, I've been the defender of them not firing him because of how much his buyout is. But he's getting closer to them. They're about to raise enough money in Texas right now. They're gonna start a GoFundMe, and they're trying to get him out of there, bro. It's ugly. I mean, they could end up with a losing record this year.
But what's crazy is it's like they keep getting these like top recruiting classes, and they just can't do nothing with it.
Right.
It's like, dude, how you just keep pulling in like top 5 recruiting classes and just suck. So I don't know.
SEC, everyone who's come in here, I mean, it was just been them in Missouri, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's entered that, but they just haven't been. I mean, I guess what Texas A&M had one good year, I think, since they've been in the SEC.
I don't think they've made it to the SEC championship though.
No, I'm not saying a championship, just like a double-digit win season.
I think
the
year
was before
Johnny
Jimbo.
Manziel. That was it.
But they won.
That was before Jimbo. That was when they still had Tomlin. No, what was it?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Sam. What was it?
No,
I know who you're talking about.
Kelvin
Sampson.
No, yeah, that's the basketball coach.
Oh
my goodness, what's his name? You're thinking about Mike Tomlin because he actually reminds me of Mike Tomlin too.
He does.
Yeah,
and then he was in the the USFL as one of the coaches.
Yes, he was. Yes. Oh my goodness, what is his name?
Oh, you can drive me crazy now.
I'm gonna look it up.
And I gotta thank you.
I'm gonna look it up.
While you look that up, let's just jump into the since we still stick with college, we'll get into that Notre Dame USC game where the at the time front runner Caleb Williams had his worst game as a Trojan. I would say. Man threw 3 picks in that game, looked very pedestrian. Does it raise doubts? Notre Dame looked good on all fronts. I mean, they got 2 losses on the year, but they showed up against USC. Now, let's put the game aside for a minute. From that game, do you have any doubts about Caleb Williams?
No, you can't take this one game. Come on now. Like everybody have a bad game. No, nobody's perfect. Okay. Like the man still talent-wise is phenomenal. Can't teach that size. You can't teach that speed. Got a rocket arm. I ain't gonna hold you.
He's not that big of a quarterback.
Yeah, he's pretty big. He's pretty big.
I think he's 6'1".
Nah, he look bigger than that. That man look like he like 6'3", like 2. He look like Dak size. Like, he looks like a big dude.
Caleb Williams is probably 6'1", 212 pounds.
Nah, the man look bigger than that. But anyways,
we gonna get our statistician on it.
We'll look that up. But he's definitely
6'1", 215.
What did I say? 6'1", 212? Come on, man.
He looks way bigger than that. He don't play that small. But anyways, yeah, man. First bad game as a Trojan. I mean, has an awful defense. They're notoriously bad. He's been having to carry that. I mean, everyone has a bad game. I'm not gonna say that man is not the number 1 overall pick because he should be. If coming out, he's been with his body of work the best quarterback. From last year, this year, you add them up together, he's still the number 1 overall pick.
Jason,
he don't have the injury issues that Penix has.
Man, Penix had 1 injury. Stop that. Talk about my boy.
It was a major injury.
Talk about my boy like that.
You forced him to switch schools.
Jason, you going or you want me to go ahead and agree with EJ?
Go ahead and agree with EJ.
I agree. It was a great game plan against them. They basically see other schools now from the rest of the year. They're going to look at this tape. They're going to try to mimic. They might not have the horses that Notre Dame has on defense. They're going to try to mimic what they did against them. What I want to see is how he responds, because he's going to see that same the way they blitz the linebackers, the way they spied him in that game. He's going to see that same defense for the rest of the year until they can beat him out of it. And not every school is going to have the horses to do it, but Jason, you're tripping on Caleb Williams. He can ball.
Man's dumb talented.
He can ball.
he can in college. I just don't think he is going to be a good NFL quarterback. But Colorado had his number 2. So let's not act and Colorado's defense is horrible. So let's not act like he was so great against them. So come on now. So y'all just sipping that Trojan Kool-Aid. That's what y'all doing right now.
Sipping the Trojan Kool-Aid.
That's what y'all doing right now. Now, I mean, granted, he's still going to be because you and everybody else just feels like,
I thought that maybe I missed the Colorado USC or I dreamed something else. So I had to go back and check I don't know. Man threw for 400 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Man, this struggled.
Again.
How's that a struggle?
Again,
I don't want to stat watch, but I remember watching this game and thinking he's balling. So I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't wrong.
I put up 6 tutties. Had a horrible game, according to Jason.
Colorado's defense was horrible.
Well, should he have thrown 12, Jason? Should he have thrown 12?
Yeah.
Okay.
My goodness.
You playing against a terrible Colorado defense. You got to be able to do better.
So let me ask you this: Did you think last year that CJ Stroud was a better quarterback than Caleb? When you saw them last year before CJ Stroud came out, did you think he was a better quarterback than Caleb Williams?
No, because I never felt, and I still don't. I mean, CJ Stroud might be the anomaly at the moment.
He's about to helmet scout us.
But Ohio State can't produce NFL quarterbacks. They are good college quarterbacks. CJ Stroud at this precise moment might be the anomaly. But give me another Ohio State quarterback that actually was anything good in the NFL. I'll wait.
Joe Burrow started
here all night.
Started Ohio State.
Really?
He did. He did.
He didn't. And where did he end up?
Man got beat out. He just had to go down to LSU.
He got beat out by who? Do you even know who?
I think it was
a couple players.
It wasn't Dwayne Haskins.
Dwayne Haskins was one of them, and then the year before
Justin
that,
Fields, right?
No, Justin Fields was after. He transferred in after that. Or after. I think he transferred in the same year that Burrow transferred out. I think that's what happened.
Yeah, he was coming in. Yeah,
it was JT Barrett, the one before that.
Yeah, look.
Yeah, but who was the coach?
Yeah.
Who was the coach?
Does it matter who the coach is?
Sure, it's the same coach that ran off Cam Newton. That's who the coach was.
That's a fact. The same one that ran off Cam.
We started John Brantley over Cam. That's how you know the decision might not have been a good one. We went Caleb Brantley over Cam Newton.
Yeah, that was
wild. Matter because even think about Justin Fields. I mean, he shows signs here and there, but I guarantee you, if they get any inclination, the Chicago Bears, that is, if they get any inclination that Caleb Williams would be willing to play for them, they are drafting him. They are going to move on from Justin Fields.
But I thought he wasn't going to be good.
I don't think he's going to be good.
Okay.
That doesn't mean he's not going to end up being the number one overall pick. I mean, that's just what it's going to be. I just don't think it's going to. I think if they draft Caleb Williams, the Bears, that is, it's going to be Justin Fields 2.0. Just maybe a better arm.
Well, I mean, that rookie.
Better arm, less agility as far as what Justin Fields could do with his legs.
I mean, it also has to do with the situation these QBs are drafted into, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, some of these situations are like, I don't care who you put back there for Chicago. They're not going to be good. Like, they don't have a good offensive line. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, they got DJ Moore and Kmet. That's about it. You know what I mean? So it's not going to be a good. And then you see what Bryce Young's going through. Like, Adam Thielen's back there turning the clock back. That's pretty much his big play weapon. And Adam Thielen's
no one else to throw to.
You know what I mean? So it's just CJ Stroud, lucky enough to.
I understand that. And that's why I don't understand why Caleb Williams, his dad, or whoever came out and was like, well, we're only going to, if we don't like who the team is at number one, then he'll go back another year. Dude, whoever has the number one overall pick is going to suck. So, I mean, it's not like you get the Super Bowl champion who ends up with the number one overall pick. The number one overall pick, the team that has it, is a team that's in need of a quarterback or at least a star player, a rebuild, around somebody type of player. So I don't understand what kind of situation they're hoping to get into, because if he sits out, it could be worse next year. You could end up with I don't know, the Cardinals at number one, or
what if it's the Patriots?
That's a terrible situation to go into.
I don't think he wants to go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There's zero talent on that offense. It might be the worst going to. Because if it's the Bears are going to have the 1 and the 2 pick. So they could draft him plus a weapon and be like, hey, listen, we're gonna draft Marvin Harrison Jr. or we're gonna draft Brock Bowers, or we're gonna draft Brock Bowers, or get you the left tackle that you want. Whatever. You could try to put that together. But if it's New England, He ain't coming back. He's going right back to USC. He's like, it's cold out there. I'm just gonna stay in California. He's not going.
But let's be real though. Now, so if New England, let's say the team that gets the number 1 pick this year, he doesn't want to go to. Let's just for all intents and purposes, with it being the Bears right now, says he doesn't want to go there. Let's just say he says, nope, that's not where I want to go. I'm going back to school. And then next year, the Patriots get number 1 pick because they're just trash next year.
Well, he doesn't have a choice after that. So I mean, I guess he's worth rolling. I guess it's worth rolling the dice for him, you know. But he's probably thinking in his head. He's probably thinking in his head, if I do this year, it's fine. Next year, I can just pull an Eli and just force my way.
It could be the Giants.
It could also be the Giants, and that's behind that offensive line. I ain't going either. My insurance plan,
want to go to New York.
Insurance plan is not big enough for me to go stand behind that offensive line.
Yeah, he probably want to go to New York for the brand.
But I'll tell you what, though. I mean, we'll see. Like I said, I mean, he's going to end up regardless. He'll be the number 1, you know, quarterback, I'll say, off the board, because if he decides not to come back or not to enter the draft this year, again, there's no telling who's going to be a number 1 pick. It might be someone that already has a franchise quarterback that just had a rough year, you know. And I'll use an example, and not wishing this or hoping this on anyone, but let's say next year Joe Burrow gets hurt, season-ending injury. Bengals are terrible. They get the number 1 pick. They're not drafting him. They're going to trade that pick.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, that's where you want to be. If you already have your quarterback, though, you want to be in a QB rich draft. That's
if you're this year.
But if he leaves, then somebody's giving up picks to get to Caleb Williams. Like this draft right here is if you already have your quarterback and you're sitting at the top of the draft in the top 2 or 3 picks, you're sitting in a really good spot because people are going to trade you picks where you need to utilize everywhere else. You know,
put your GM hat on real quick. And I feel like we've had this conversation a few times. You're the GM for the Chicago Bears. You are now sitting with the 1st and 2nd pick. Do you have enough faith in Justin Fields, or are you moving on from him?
I am as a GM, because we all know that once the quarterback gets paid, you're almost, and he's going to be going into his 4th season, right? Justin Fields will be his 4th season next year. I would restart the clock, because if you're that bad where you're picking first again, that means your team is not good enough in other places. Not that I would, if they were like competitive and they just ended up, let's just say that they have that Carolina pick, right? And they were competitive. They ended up 8, 9, 7, and 10, whatever it might be. I would keep Justin Fields and use that pick for something else. But if they're so far down the totem pole where they're going to win 1 game, 2 games, I'm starting over. I'm going to trade Justin Fields to whomever wants to take him on. I'm going to start over and go from there, because now you got to start the clock over because again, he got to get paid after this 4th season. Like, he'll be eligible for an extension. So you'll be looking at it almost probably like a Tua situation where, like, all right, we're going to pick up your 5th. We're going to wait to see what you do. But now you got to pay him. So, like, that's what the situation that the Dolphins are going to be in. Now they're going to have to pay Tua the money, and they're going to have to find other ways to build their team from the draft, which is, it's a good problem to have. Don't get me wrong. But, like, if you're sitting with 1 win, that's not a good problem to have. So I would start it over if the GM hat was on. I'm starting over. I'm trading Justin Fields. I'm either going and getting the quarterback and the wide receiver, or the quarterback and the tight end, depending on who the left tackle, right tackle is that's coming out. They might be mixed in that mix as well.
All right, EJ, you the GM. Put your GM hat on.
So you're asking me specifically if I'm the Bears.
Yeah, so are you not listening to?
Yeah, so I was just actually thinking in my head, like, what San Francisco had to give up, what they had to give up to get Trey Lance.
They gave up 2 firsts and a 3rd, and I think there's something else that was involved too. And that was to get up to 3.
And that was to get up to 3
from where'd they come up from, Jason? They came up from the 20s, right?
49ers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they came up some ways, and that's why everyone looked at that like you didn't even really give him a shot,
right? But I mean, think about the team that he's built. Doesn't matter. He gave away all that capital. Doesn't matter, because it's the team that he built You know what I mean? So like people are kind of giving him flack about, oh, you gave up all this and you didn't give him a chance. Well, they have the luxury to be like, all right, well, we don't have time to wait on you. We're gonna go somewhere else. Good place to be.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I might turn, like I said, one of those picks into some future draft capital, get some more future first round picks for someone that wants to be in that, either 1 to 2 range. And depending on how, Justin Fields does, if he can get them to be, like I said, I mean, if he would have stayed healthy, I mean, I know you can't really play hypotheticals, but they had a chance to beat Minnesota. Even like, until he went out, they were
number one.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true.
And if they're picking number one, he's coming out.
And so, thank you. I'm glad you just said that. You just reminded me of something. So they got a Kirk Cousins, and they're still that bad. You feel me? And Kirk Cousins isn't considered to be a bad quarterback. You know what I mean? Like a bunch of teams would like to have a Kirk Cousins. So for me to be like, oh man, like Justin Fields is necessarily the problem, I can't really say that because there are some teams with what you would consider above average quarterbacks that their teams still suck.
So you're keeping Justin Fields and you're taking one of your picks and flipping them into future?
2 more first rounders. Yeah, probably over the next couple of years, 2 to 3.
So you're passing on Caleb Williams.
Well,
you're not considering the player that's available. You're thinking about just in a general sense because if he's available, he comes out. Caleb Williams is the pick. You keeping Justin Fields or?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep him.
Okay.
So
and I'll keep the second pick because, like you said, I mean, if I'm not sold on Justin Fields, and you're saying it's a quarterback heavy draft, I can get a quarterback somewhere else. I can get another quarterback, and I can be like, I can try to push. So you would think about this dropping. Let's just say the number 10 team wants to move up. You drop the 10, hope that a quarterback drops you. Still draft a quarterback, but get some extra. Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. So you wouldn't necessarily be worried about, since Caleb Williams is supposed to be so great in the NFL in your eyes, you are electing to pass over him to go for another quarterback a little further down. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Why? I'm just
because I don't think Caleb Williams is enough to turn around the tides. Like in Chicago, I don't think his quarterback play is going to be so superior to Justin Fields that is going to change the amount of wins that they're getting. I think they need so much more than just a quarterback. Like they need a lot of things. So you getting him is just going to have a talent that's still getting beat up. I mean, that's still, you seeing what's happening to Anthony Richardson. He's getting lit up. So, I mean, I don't think it's worth it just to put all of my eggs in that basket, and it's not going to be enough to change my fortunes.
Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. All right.
I think if Fields was in his first or second year, I think I might lean the same way EJ was going, but I think now the contract's coming to an end. You got to start thinking about how you're going to pay him. Because if you wait again, let's just say that you wait, right? And then this quarterback-rich draft comes and goes, and then the next couple of years, and there's no prospect that you fall in love with. Now you're stuck. Now you're Tampa Bay and Baker Mayfield. You're Minnesota and Kirk Cousins. Like you're in a situation where like now you're in no man's land where you could have started the clock over.
Again, for Chicago specifically, they have so many issues. I just don't think Caleb Williams is going to be the thing that fixes it. Like, look, they backup quarterback. They got Tyler Benier. Like this dude, who the heck is this guy? Like, and you got him starting like as your backup. Like, it don't make sense to me organizationally why you would have that as backing up Justin Fields. So
do you think they go on a fire sale? Because they went and spent some money this offseason. Do you think they go on a fire sale in the next 2 weeks and start sending off some of these players?
I don't think so. The team's too young. So I think you gotta keep your nucleus and kind of figure it out and work with it. To an extent, I kind of agree with
Mhm.
EJ. I mean, you bring in Caleb Williams, you're still in the same situation. I mean, he's probably a better quarterback overall than Justin Fields, but you're still in the same, gonna get beat up on, hit. Even though this is where the big thing would be is what you hear about Justin Fields is he can't read a defense. Like he is not good when it comes to recognizing a defense, reading the plays, things like that. And so maybe that could be an issue on why quarterback play is so tough or it looks so bad there. So maybe if you had a higher level quarterback in those regards, maybe it looks better. I take the first two picks. I take quarterback receiver. So I know I have a dynamic duo to build around, and then you go for a lineman, you try to get some free agents because now you could go out and it's like, well, look, this is what I'm trying to put together
You have more
and
money to
go from
spend.
there.
I
Yeah.
And
mean, they
remember,
just
you're gonna be picking at the top of the second round, the top of the third round. You
So
probably have
I
some
maybe I flip Justin Fields for a third round pick,
right. You probably get a
so I
second
get
or a
another
third,
third.
right, for him. So that's an additional pick. And I think they got more picks in this trade with Carolina too. So I'd have to look to see what else they got. But I know they got the first next year, and then
I
there's
mean
got
they
to be some
trade
thirds and fourths in there as well. So
they traded their first round draft pick for DJ Moore. So in their mind, that's their number one wideout. Like they got who their number one guy
you
is
can
going to
never
be.
have enough
Yeah.
wide receivers on your team.
Fair enough.
1 through 3. I mean, look at what
Yeah.
Chase and Higgins,
But
right?
who goes back to back years of wide receiver first round? That's essentially what they would be doing. Then they would be getting a wide receiver this year as a first round draft pick because that's what they did with their first
I
round
think if
draft
you
pick.
look around the league
They
and
did.
young quarterbacks,
Yeah.
the ones that the franchises that look like they've had a success is they surrounded their quarterback with weapons to throw to. Yes, offensive line, but Burrow doesn't have the start that he has unless he has Chase and Higgins. There's no
Yes.
separation on the outside easily, and
But they didn't
Pat
draft
Mahomes
Higgins.
doesn't have
Yeah.
without Kelsey and Tyreek Hill. He doesn't have the start that he has. Now, I'm not saying that these guys wouldn't be
Yeah.
great.
Justin
Josh Allen
Herbert
didn't
with
start pumping up
Keenan
until he
Allen
got
and Mike
Diggs.
Williams.
Well, what I see, no, the difference. What I'm saying, so all these things that people have, these wide receivers are already there. These are veteran wide receivers you're talking about. I'm saying that no one goes and does wide receivers first rounds back to back. Is what I'm saying. Essentially, that's what that would be. That's what you would be doing. All these teams. Keenan Allen was already there. T. Higgins was already there. Like they drafted him before, so they only drafted Jamar Chase that early because that's what Joe Burrow wanted. They wouldn't have done it, I don't think, had not Joe Burrow advocated so tough for it.
Right, but it was the right choice. Are we not thinking that?
Yeah, no, it was. It was.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a big. I would do
The
that.
people coming for you, EJ?
Huh?
The people coming for you?
Yeah, we hear the people in the background.
This is
People
Brooklyn.
coming
You
for
know,
you?
they always around. This is,
They about to get them.
this
They
is
about to
coming
get
from
them.
me.
But I don't know. We'll see. We'll definitely see. I know this is going to definitely be a continuous conversation,
for sure.
especially if Chicago continues to lose, and we get closer and closer because, well, not even them. If Carolina continues to lose,
Yeah, because they didn't want to get right. They haven't won one yet, right?
So
they have Carolina's first round draft pick.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So as long as Carolina continues to lose, and if Chicago continues to look as bad as they do and lose, I mean, they're in a good spot. Whether could you? All right. Let me ask one more question before we move on.
All right.
Is there a world that you see they finish the season and they have the first and second pick? Is there a world where they take both those picks and just flip them for a bunch of other assets or something to try to help build what they have currently?
Well, I think that's what DJ was. That's
what
what
I said.
alluding to, right?
With both picks though. He was talking about drafting with one and dropping back with the other. But I'm talking about
to me, if it wasn't his fourth season coming up and he is extension eligible, I absolutely would be. You would have heard me say that from jump. Flip them both, gain as much as you can, because most of those guys, like if they come in from the 20s, you're getting a haul for both picks, right? If they're coming in from, anywhere from like the 7 to 10 to 12 range, right? You're still getting a ton for it, but you're still picking within the top 15. So you're still going to get top 15 players, a couple of them most likely, plus all the additional picks. It's the right way to build a team, in my opinion. Like, you start young, but I think you need to start the clock over and just go with the best talent, which is the quarterback, which is going to cost you so much more money in 2 years, and the wide receiver, or even the tight end, depending on how you view it. Because Brock Bowers is legit. He's a legit weapon.
I think Cole Kmet's nice as a tight end.
Right. So if you want to go to, he's right. They have, but either which way you go with that, and listen, he can block too now. So like, you put him out there as help with the blocking help the new younger tackles. I don't know.
We'll see.
It's tough. We'll see.
We'll see what the NFL. Let's get into some NFL real quick. We had some losers. No more undefeated teams. The 49ers lost to the Browns. The Eagles lost to the Jets, and those were your last two undefeated teams. The Eagles look, kind of blah, kind of most of the year, but the team I want to get into is the Purdy Niners. I want to get into EJ's team and their pedestrian quarterback. So
slanders unnecessary.
I remember we talked about, it might have been last episode, and you were just going on and on about how Brock Purdy is this, Brock Purdy is that. Brock Purdy threw for 2 yards and looked like the last pick in the draft. Looked very pedestrian, looked terrible. Like I've been saying, he ain't that good. He is a game manager, and he can't do it.
So
defend your boy. Defend your boy.
It wasn't his finest moment. It wasn't. I won't give you this, but what I will tell you is, you called him a game manager, is what you said. So this man lost his starting left tackle, All-Pro, lost his starting running back, who's going to be first team All-Pro.
Injuries are part of the game.
No. This is all in one single game. So starting left tackle, starting running back, starting wide receiver, and still managed to get this team against a top 5 defense in position to win the game. If it wasn't for this rookie kicker, we wouldn't even have this conversation. We would be like, Brock Purdy managed to win it again. The kicker missed the kick
with 122 yards,
and he did it without 3 crucial pieces, and still kept them together at Cleveland's home against a top 5 defense. They might be the best defense in the NFL. Cleveland's a juggernaut. And so you're trying to put this on Brock Purdy. Let's not let the 49ers defense off the hook. They are really the problem. How you let PJ Walker carve you up? They
only scored 17 points. So
it was 17 too many. 17 too many.
Couple of poor choice of words in your argument here. One, you said Brock Purdy almost managed to pull out. You saw that, Jason? And then you said carve him up. This scored 17 points. No carving.
Man,
it's not
freaking Amari Cooper had 103 receiving yards on you. It's PJ Walker back there. And you're supposed to be this vaunted defense. This is where you're supposed to travel. You see your boy, we've lost on the offense. We lost 3 crucial players, 3 integral pieces.
Do you root for the 49ers on the weekends? Are you like up cheering and clapping when they score touchdowns?
I don't like all the slander against Brock Purdy. I don't understand it. The man literally last minute of the game, last game-winning drive, he put his team in a position to win, made all the throws he needed to make, got them in pristine position to go ahead and win that game. A hard, tough game in a rainy, wet conditions in Cleveland. Not an easy place to play against that defense. Kicker ruined it because I wouldn't have to defend him like this. If he won the game, you would have just been like, he had a subpar game. But they managed to win the game like Brock Purdy does. It wasn't Brock Purdy's fault that they lost this game.
So to counter your argument there, the Vikings won, right?
Yeah, because
with no Justin Jefferson, who's their best best receiver, who's hurt.
They was playing the Beignet man. Come on now. Justin Fields was hurt. I didn't even know who this dude was.
Deshaun Watson is hurt.
But PJ Walker at least been in the league. This is a rookie from some Division II school I ain't never even heard of. I don't know how this man is the backup quarterback. Something don't smell right in Chicago. Like I don't get it. So that's not the same. PJ Walker, he's actually won games in the league.
It's the same.
It's the same.
Yo, if your boy was so good, they would have had no problem. They would have had no problem.
He got them in a position to win the game. The kicker missed a 40-yard field goal.
So what happened? He still had Brandon Ayuk.
He did have Brandon Ayuk, but the man, literally, his best offensive lineman gone, running back gone, arguably his 1B receiver gone. So literally, it's this man trying to. And again, you act like Cleveland's defense isn't top.
That takes into account his 44% completion rate.
It was raining out. It was, come on now. The conditions were not even ideal for throwing. Nobody,
so for your boy to have a good game, everything got to be perfect.
It don't have
All
to
his
be.
players got to be healthy. It's got to be a sunny day, no clouds in the sky. That's what you're saying. Because you make every excuse. Oh, his left tackle was hurt. Oh, it was raining.
Well, those are all three crucial pieces. Like, for you to lose all three of those in the game is wild. Like, that's wild. But beyond that, you act like he's the first person to not have a stellar game. And then if everyone has a bad game, everybody has a bad game. But in this particular game, he played well enough for them to win. He did. I don't know how.
Well enough?
Do you hear what I'm saying? The San Francisco 49ers defense let PJ Walker beat them. PJ Walker. This is supposed to be the vaunted none of them were hurt. They were good. How you put this on Brock Purdy? The man missing 3 starters in the game. He's overcoming it. Just got to overcome. No C-Mac, okay. No Devo, okay. No Trent Williams, okay. You need your players to win. You need some of them to be there.
He manages the game.
He
can't do it. If he was so great,
no one will be able to do it without all 3 of those people missing. Take away Patrick Mahomes. I mean, take away Patrick Mahomes' best offensive lineman. Take away his, I don't know what his equivalent of C-Mac would be. I guess it would be Travis Kelce. Take away Travis Kelce, and then take away whoever his next best offensive weapon is. And I bet you he has a hard time winning.
I bet he'll win.
He lost already. When Travis Kelce didn't even play, he lost. What are you talking about?
Okay.
I bet he win. He don't always win.
I didn't say he always wins.
I
bet he'd win.
He didn't, though. We've seen it didn't.
I'm just blown away that EJ thinks that PJ Walker balled in this game. I'm just
he did enough. He did enough to beat the 49ers. Like, legitimately
threw for 53% completion percentage, 2 interceptions, didn't eclipse 200 yards. I'm just not reading stats to you. I watched this game.
Me too.
He did not fall. And the plays that you're talking about were amazing plays by Amari Cooper.
Like, but he was
number one type stuff. Well, I mean,
he was getting them the ball. Again, you got Nick Bosa, you got Wagner.
Same throws to Brandon Ayuk. It's not like he didn't do it before.
He didn't do it before. He also wasn't missing the best left tackle in the game either. He also wasn't missing the best running back in the game right now.
He had Kittle.
Okay.
You act like he had nobody to throw the ball to.
The weather conditions in this game did not allow for, like, it wasn't like they was going to be able to throw it all over the field. It just, if you saw the game, it was wet, it was rainy, like it's windy. It wasn't meant to be thrown all over the field. This was an old school run the football type game. That's what it was going to be. Nobody was throwing for 200, 300 yards in this game. I don't care who you are.
Okay.
Jason.
Y'all just foolishness.
No, because I'm not on Jason's side on this. I think Brock Purdy is good. Now, I want to make sure that I make a point clear, because we talked about our MVP front runners last time we got on, right? And Christian McCaffrey was up there for me. It was for you too, right, EJ?
Yeah, he was.
But not Brock Purdy. I saw a lot of national media say that Brock Purdy was up there in the MVP race. And I'm like, why? They opened up the offense because of Brock Purdy. I get that. But the whole the engine is Christian McCaffrey. Teams are absolutely terrified when he gets the football, because Kyle Shanahan can put it in his arms wherever he is on the field. he's the MVP of this team. It's not Brock Purdy. He's the reason, because you see what happened once he went down. The offense was very, very stagnant because the creativity without Debo, without Trent Williams out there, with those stable things, you couldn't do what you wanted to do. So I don't want to hear any more talk about Brock Purdy being an MVP on this team. It's 100% Christian McCaffrey. Now,
let's not
again, EJ, I'm not on Jason's side where I think he sucks. I think that he's actually opened up.
Game manager.
I think he's more than a game manager. I don't think he's just a game manager, because the way that the offense completely opened up once in the passing game, once Brock Purdy took over, it was much, much different than what you saw with Jimmy Garoppolo there. So it's a different offense. He allows them to do different things. But Christian McCaffrey is the real reason that this offense has blown up. Let's not forget that.
Let's be real about the situation, though. Shanahan was not a fan of Jimmy G. Been trying to get rid of him forever. Just didn't happen. They ended up bringing him back.
Boy.
What you mean? He was trying to get rid of him forever.
What? Because he was always hurt.
They only brought him back because Trey Lance got hurt.
I mean,
and so my thing is this: Trey Lance never even got an opportunity.
He did. He just got hurt.
Well, he didn't get an opportunity. He got hurt.
He got hurt in this opportunity.
Well, I said it early in the show. They didn't have time to wait. This window is not going to be open forever for them because they gave away a lot of capital. They're paying these guys a lot of money. They're not going to be able to keep everybody together. They're going to have to start building up that draft capital and keep the core together as much as they can. But the window's not going to be open forever, so they had to make a move. And once Brock Purdy showed that he was capable, they
manage a game.
Manage a game. Yo, this man makes plays. Like, I swear, if he made plays in that last drive to get them in the field goal range, I was like, yo, this dude, when the money's on the table, like, he did what he was supposed to do. That dang kicker, I don't know how it was. I mean, I get it to win, but this is all you have to do is kick. It's a 40-yard.
Maybe his foot slipped. It was raining.
You still think there should be a kicker should be in the Hall of Fame?
Tucker.
They should just make a kicker museum and name it after Justin Tucker. But no kicker should ever be in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, Tucker's just a weapon. Look what he did this weekend. I mean,
that was wild.
My dog put on a clinic out there.
I actually, because I thought that, because I turned it on in the second half, I thought all their points were from field goals. I didn't realize they had scored a touchdown in that game.
They scored one touchdown, but everything.
Because I started doing math in my head. I was like, this is a multiple of 3 here. I think he scored all the points.
He was having a field day out there on them boys.
But I guess they went for 2 and missed it. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'll let y'all live with y'all game manager. It is what it is, though. I mean,
Brock will be back. Don't worry about that.
What'd you call them? The Purdy Niners. I was gonna say Brocky Niners.
Purdy
Niners.
I'm telling you, that Cleveland defense is it ain't no
legit.
Joke.
No, I mean, but they've also played some offenses that outside of the 49ers, play some offenses that aren't very good right now either. So, and some bad weather games too. So I think they're legit. I'm not trying to take away from them. I think they're legit for sure. But they've been aided by a couple of things as well.
Anywho, I don't even know what to say. I mean,
this guy.
You just So, all right. So before we move on, do you pay him? Granted, he's only in second year now? Second, right? Second.
Yeah, so he'll have
and I mean he's on the cheapest contract that you could pretty much pay an NFL player.
There's guys who are undrafted getting paid more than him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So do you have that much faith in him, EJ, that you are going to pay him in the 100 millions?
You don't even got to do that yet. The way you don't even have to do that yet. Tell you what you do.
I agree. I agree. Jason's just trying to muddy the water here. He's trying to muddy it up.
Bro, you can franchise that man a year. You know, like you got some options. You got some options with this man.
I'm just all I did was ask a question. Are you going to pay him?
It's not necessary yet. We're gonna take care of him, just not yet.
You mean? You only got one more year?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You only have one more year.
He's a 4-year contract.
Yeah.
Any player that's drafted outside the first round has the 5th-year option, and then 4 years for everybody else. So he's on the second year.
So he's got one more year, and then you you're hoping that during that third year you are looking at an extension.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. So what all of a sudden, hold on, you were just singing this man praises about how good he is,
well, because he is,
and now all of a sudden,
well, I'm thinking from the GM perspective, because you got time, well, no, because think about it, they didn't just automatically, they didn't automatically just give Tom Brady the big time contract. They waited until his time came up. You know what I mean? It's how it's done.
Well, contracts weren't this big then.
True, but still.
So you're telling me when his fourth year is up, so we're moving into his fourth year, no extension, you're gonna franchise tag him.
No, if we played all 4 years and he's been this well, he gets them into a Super Bowl or another NFC championship. Yeah, you're gonna pay him.
He doesn't get a Super Bowl.
I said an NFC championship. Yeah.
So you're gonna pay him.
Yeah.
You're gonna pay him the market of a quarterback.
He's gonna get a team friendly deal. That's what we're gonna get.
Nah, if I'm him, I'm breaking the bank. I was drafted last.
Breaking the bank, man.
I'm drafted last. I mean,
wait. What is a team friendly deal?
Yeah, we'll give him like a little bit like a Daniel Jones contract, something like that.
I don't know if that was team friendly.
Yeah. Comparatively to everybody else,
Wait a minute. I'm confused because you were just so high on this guy.
He is, but
now you want to shortchange him.
It's not I want to shortchange him. It's just the way that they're developing their team. They're putting money into a lot of different places on that team. Nick Bosa got that contract. Warner got that contract. You got Trent Williams. You got to pay him.
What I'm hearing from you, and correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just this is what I'm hearing with my ears are a little older than yours, so what I'm hearing is that, we could get us any quarterback to do.
No, exactly I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Because obviously you can't. Him. It's not that you don't need to pay him. I'm just saying you don't have to give him no Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow type contract because he don't put up them type numbers. You know what I mean? So it's just.
He doesn't.
But it's because he's not asked to do that. This is not what's asked for him. They don't
game manager.
It's not.
He's a game manager.
It's what the San Francisco does. It's just how they run their offense. They're a run first team. It's just how they run.
Statistician over there. I have a question for you. If you don't mind looking up as EJ tries to figure out if he's gonna pay Brock Purdy.
I said the man getting paid,
but you said you're gonna give him Daniel Jones money, but you don't. So he's on the level of Daniel Jones.
Nah, he's better than Daniel Jones.
But you're gonna give him Daniel Jones money.
It's just you got to think. Look how much money they paid out already. Like they don't have an unlimited supply,
because they know they could go out and find him another 5th, 6th round quarterback, and he could manage the game just like Purdy.
I don't think so.
Anywho,
I don't think so. If you put Sam Darnold, you put Sam Darnold in there, you think he would make that team would be just as good? You put Sam Darnold in the game,
Jimmy. I got a question for you. I need you. If you can, I'm curious, who are the quarterbacks that are going to be up for extensions in 2 years' time? I'm curious in 2 years, because that would be when Purdy would be up for an extension. So, I mean, it could be.
I think Dak will.
I was going to say, I think Dak will probably be around there. So I'm curious.
Purdy definitely better than him.
So I'm curious to know. Because I want to see at what level you're going to try to pay this man.
I feel like Dallas feels like they done paid Dak too much money. I feel like we're not getting the return on our investment.
So do you think Cincinnati feels the same way about Joe Burrow?
No.
Why not?
Because I mean, it's not like he don't produce, he don't put up numbers. Like he's had a couple bad games, but he's been injured this year too. So I mean, for them. And this man's gotten him to a Super Bowl. Like that he get like one win. And then they out of the playoffs. So this is different. Brock Purdy done got these people to the NFC Championship game. You get them to the Super Bowl, he deserve to be paid.
For the record though, Jason, this is not a good draft class to ask that question. Just keep it real.
Well, who are the quarterbacks?
Malik Willis, Kenny Pickett, Sam Howell, Desmond Ridder, Matt Corral, Bailey Zappi, Brock Purdy, Skylar Thompson. Those were the 9
but-
quarterbacks that
Oh,
were
the
drafted
rest-
in that.
Yeah,
Drafted
but
in that.
You're gonna still, but I meant like even up for like a contract extension. Like,
Well, I
maybe
mean, anybody that's
Dak or-
already in the league at that point in time will be available for extensions.
But I'm curious on where EJ is going to pay, this man, because I'm trying to figure out where the scale is going to be. Because right now we're at, what did Burrow just get? Like 250, 260? What did he just
Yeah.
get?
Yeah,
so
something like that. But
clearly-
he's not going to get Burrow money.
But that's what I'm trying to figure out. So
Okay.
where are you going to pay him? So if you're saying he's better than Daniel Jones,
Yeah.
Daniel Jones didn't get nothing compared to what these quarterbacks are making
I
now.
mean, what the man's making what is he making, like 40 million a year?
Daniel Jones'
Yeah.
total value
getting
is
that much?
160. It's his annual average is 40. His
Okay.
guaranteed is 104.
Making 100
I think that's a good place to. I think this is a good place to start. This is a good place to start, though, EJ. Seriously, are you giving him 104 guaranteed? Brock Purdy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Interesting. We'll leave it there. We'll leave it there. So let's just we'll put a pin in this because I feel like this is going to come up again.
Gonna age poorly, Jason. I already told
For
you.
you.
Not for me.
Because you even said
One
yourself he is a
game.
manager. You even said it yourself. he's a
That game, that's all anyone could be.
You said yourself he's a manager.
Lord.
You gave him all these reasons on why he was just so bad. Oh, it was the weather.
Jason,
defense.
the weather
It
was
the wind.
crazy.
It was he lost all of these players.
He did. Lost
Anywho,
3 first-team All-Pro players, or
Well,
2 at least.
you got so many excuses, Blaswa. Like just live with it. It's all good. But you know what? We're gonna jump into. You want me to do?
Yeah, let's do the. Yeah,
All
let's
right, so we're
do-
gonna do the where'd he play? So in for EJ, since he's just in love with the weather and the Cleveland Browns in this case. PJ Walker, where'd he play?
PJ Walker.
Yeah,
heck?
he just according to you just carved up the 49ers defense with his 190 something yards passing and 2 interceptions. Carved him up. So where'd he play?
Wow.
I think I have a good idea if EJ can't get it right.
NC State.
No. You want another shot at it there, sir?
I have no idea what PJ Walker played at. And that was my whole reasoning for saying the 49ers should be ashamed of themselves. The defense. How you let this man do you like this?
All right, Jimmy T, you want to take a shot at it?
Can I? Yeah, I want to take a shot. I have 2 guesses. I'm going to give you the first one because I think this is more recent, but it's based on where a coach played or where a coach coached. So
Temple?
it's either Temple or Baylor.
Temple.
I didn't even think about the Matt Rule connection.
Yeah, the Matt Rule connection. That's how he got. That's how he got brought in because he was playing in the XFL or not the XFL, but the what was the other league before that?
USFL?
Yeah, he was playing there, and then he brought him in as a backup when he was in Carolina.
Yeah,
so I knew there was a connection from college.
That's
so yeah, Temple or Baylor.
And my next one for you fellas, where'd he play? Dallas Goddard.
Oh, that's North Dakota State.
Is it North Dakota?
North Dakota, right?
I think it's South Dakota, actually.
Yeah, it is.
Is it South?
Dakota.
It's not.
Yeah.
They're the green. The Jackrabbits is South Dakota. It's not North Dakota.
Dakota State.
Whatever.
I'm surprised. I'm impressed that you even got there. But
well, there's a connection there, right? You had the Carson Wentz, Zach Ertz, Dallas Goddard all went to the same school.
All right.
And
so what you got?
Obviously, Trey Lance.
Well, true.
Now, is Carson Wentz that bad? Like he just nobody wants him in the league.
I mean, I feel like he could play for the 49ers.
This guy.
What you got for us this week for kicks of the week?
All right, guys. So I got a little bit of a.
There's something really wrong with this man.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, I don't think he would have complained about the weather.
Yeah. Put Sam Darnold out there and see how
would have gone out there and he would have put up more than 122 passing yards.
This is not
all
true.
right, guys. So this is more of a joke and just to share what I see on some of these websites when I'm looking at sneakers. Some crazy things that I see out there. Look at this. Look at this thing.
What
These are some Mater Crocs.
Yo, people love.
These are my kicks of the week, baby. All right. This is Sneaker News, by the way. Give them a shout out for the share here. But it's Mater. It says life is a highway with Pixar times Mater Crocs clog. It's the name of these shoes.
People love these dang shoes. These Crocs.
$60.
Love them. I see kids just wearing them but teenagers, adults, they love them.
I love
roll
Crocs.
in the streets. Do you? I've never owned a pair in my life.
Me either. I never did. I hear they're comfortable.
Yeah.
Everyone says they're
put them on your
comfortable.
feet.
So,
Put them on your feet.
I
It'll
actually like these.
Change your
I like
world.
those.
Yeah.
You like
Change
those?
I actually like them.
You gonna wear those to Disney, Jason?
I'd wear them to Disney. I like them. I mean, like I said, I've never, like EJ, I've never owned a pair of Crocs, but they look rusty. I like the little rusty look like Purdy. So,
What is wrong with you? Yo,
He had an angle the whole way there.
he did. I was just waiting
Yeah.
for this. Watch Brock Purdy shines this week. I can't wait.
I hope the weather's great. Where do
The
they play
weather
this
is
week? Where do they play?
I think they got what, Monday Night Football?
That's your excuse. So hopefully the weather is great, and
Need
as
my
long
boy
as the weather's
Need my
great.
boy Debo to get healthy.
Well, look, hey, no weather
They
issues.
play
They're
at the
playing Minnesota.
Vikings.
Okay.
In a dome, so they don't got to worry about no rain.
Yeah, he should light them up.
Snow. You don't got to worry about the sun in his eyes. Well, it's Monday
Yeah.
Night Football, so look.
And Kirk Cousins sucks on prime time. Yeah, he gonna light him up. he gonna light him up.
Hold on. If he looked pedestrian again
He's not gonna look pedestrian.
against the Vikings,
They
with-
know Cleveland.
as you just pointed out, Kirk Cousins is terrible during prime time.
Yeah.
And Justin Jefferson is hurt since injuries are a thing that we need to take into consideration. Apparently, if he looks terrible again, you owe everybody an apology.
He won't look terrible, so I won't have to worry about that.
Okay,
I don't have to worry about that.
all right. Well, another great show, another great night. Make sure you guys keep following us, Kicks, Cleats, and Athletes on IG. Follow us on YouTube. Watch our show live Tuesday nights. About 9:45, we live. You can check us out. Follow us, support. Give us your questions, what you like, what you don't like. We want to hear from you guys. But until then, we out.
Wish I had my Brock Purdy side.